Hey folks, welcome back to Game Garbage where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news in the industry, and of course stream for fun. Well, I woke up this morning and definitely feeling under the weather and sick. But anyway, the show goes on. And I got 76 hours of work this week. Yeah, frick yeah, baby. Rolling in that money. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the layoffs that we've been happening and also to the AI focus as this is still not going away. Now, I've been talking about this off and on my channel since 2023. Uh, and just talking about like AI is not going away. It's going to continue to be a big focus. And two, there's also going to be more of a shift toward robotics. Like even Amazon has said that in the future, nearest future, they're planning on laying off 600,000 workers of their 1.5 million, and making them be replaced by robotics, basically, and oversight by AI and all that stuff. So, but yeah, we're going to get into this. So the first one is the SAG-AFTRA union strike. You know, we remember that at the end of 2023. Went on for quite some time. Basically, they wanted more money. And, that's not working out very well because we're finding out that, the top A-listers, like they're the 1%, like the Tom Cruises and stuff. But then the actual working actors, those that are full time, it's only 2%. That's not great. Actual part time is 10 to 15%. And then basically the aspiring actors is 85% of the entire union basically aren't working, like at all. And to get any real type of benefits, you need to be working like as a full time actor. So 2% are 3%, excuse me, are actually getting benefits and stuff like that. And man, that is brutal as crap. Like that's not great. So I'm not really sure what the strike was for. And then there's something that's worse. Hollywood unveils its first AI actress, Tilly Norwood. This is real. This is a real picture of the company that created it. This is insane. And we've been using actors and actresses for quite a while in video games. A big one that comes to my mind actually is like Halo 5 with some bigger A-listers or double A-listers in there or whatever. But this is kind of insane. Unveiled at the Zurich Summit, the industry centerpiece of the Zurich Film Festival, Tilly Norwood is the first AI-generated actress created by, I can't even say that, a newly launched AI talent studio from Elaine van der Velden, an actress, comedian, and CEO of tech-forward production company Particle 6. And this is it. This is the AI right here. We really want Tilly to be the next Scarlett Johansson or Natalie Portman. That's the aim. Which is nuts. She's, it's had a quiet launch on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Norwood has slowly been amassing followers, but it was her on stage reveal at Zurich paired with a surge of agent interest that thrust her into the spotlight. So yeah, agents are interested in using it. And if you're a person, right, what are you going to do? Like, your job is to act, and now there is no Zigglers, right? There is no more Zigglers. There is no more talking about politics. There is no more having to schedule and have to worry about, sleeping and anything like that. I mean, yeah, this is crazy. Let's keep getting into this. Velden also said, now we're going to be announcing which agency is going to be representing her in the next few months. By July, Norwood had already landed its first gig, a playful comedy sketch titled AI Commissioner. And it wrote, I can't believe it. My first ever role is live. I star in AI Commissioner, a new comedy sketch that playfully explores the future of TV development produced by the brilliant team of Particle 6 Productions. I may be AI generated, but I'm feeling very real emotions right now. I am so excited for what's coming next. Guys, this is not someone making a joke. This is it actually writing its own post. The difference between a program is that it's coded by a human, right? And every output by the program has to have human input. And AI is I wouldn't say self-aware, but it's like self-producing, right? And it is able to think for itself. Okay. At the level that we're at, it's like something like a child or like a teenager or something like that. But we used to make fun of like AI content, and now we have this. Like, this is crazy to me. The company also said it's not just a one-off experiment, it's a venture designed to produce, manage, and monetize a new breed of digital stars. This hyper-real AI-driven personas can be inserted into films, shows, and even branded campaigns with minimal logistical overhead. Again, there's no flying people out there. There's no work schedules. There's no eating, no sleeping. It's just a program. And do people care? And like, imagine the whole girlfriend scene, the whole corn scene. I mean, this is oh man, this is dystopian, like straight up. And then do you really think? Game publishers aren't going to use someone like Norwood? Yeah, there's also been a wave of pushback erupted on social media. Stars like Melissa Barrera and others voiced their outrage, some even floating the idea of blacklisting agencies that sign AI talent. Again, it's not going to matter because what they focused on during their strike was money. They didn't protect their job. Not really. None of this is going to matter. And ultimately, even if you are able to ban certain companies or whatever from using AI and all of that other stuff, the companies that are working with the actors, they're going to have more overhead for cost. And the people working are actually going to become even more of a liability than they already are. Because there's benefits that need to be paid out. There's, again, time, there's HR stuff. You don't need HR with Norwood. It's not real. So yeah, this is pretty wild. Yeah. So yeah, this is going to become more of a focus. And yeah, just like with the zombies in Call of Duty for Black Ops 6, the voice actors are like, yeah, we're going to strike and whatever. Well, you don't need them anymore. You can just use her. You can just use it. And that's going to be a struggling thing too, is like these AI are going to be I mean, they're going to be accepted and viewed, I would say, even better than current actors and actresses in the future, which that's scary. I mean, look at that. Look at that. All of this is like, AI generated or whatever, but yeah, we have a yeah. I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. Also, to the layoffs. Let's get into some of those. Star Wars Outlaws Massive Entertainment has been hit with layoffs in a way, though it's just a voluntary program. So, again, we know that Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora didn't sell as well as it could, but it did make some money. We definitely know that Star Wars Outlaws did not make money. We're looking at over $100 million that it wasn't able to produce. So, yeah, it cost them a lot of money. That wasn't good. So now they have a voluntary program, and Shadows hasn't made enough money either to also cover those losses. I'll probably talk about that in another video. But yeah, right now we're having voluntary layoffs, and again, if there's not enough people, which there never is, they'll have some actual layoffs at the company. So if I'm working at Massive, I'd be a little worried right now. Also, too, Amazon was having significant cuts. They were looking at 14,000 corporate jobs, white-collar jobs. And yeah, there's significant role reductions would fall on its offices in Irvine and San Diego, as well as its central publishing division. So like, and two, I've also heard that this is possibly up to 30,000. Not just 14,000, but 30,000 roles. But yeah, we're just going to focus on the gaming side. So yeah, the games that were affected is, Montreal Studios is still working on their game, March of the Giants. They're trying to get that out. But there's also going to be continued releases of the casual and AI-focused games for cloud services through Luna. Also, Crystal Dynamics is still working on a new Tomb Raider game, and the UK-based Maverick Games continues to work on a racing title. So there's still some other games out there. But, like, we're going to be losing New World. They're basically gutting the studio. We also know too that they're going to be going to be keeping the servers on. Really, no more new content, but they're going to keep the servers on through 2026, and then the game is going to shut down. They're still allowing you, of course, to basically download the game, buy any content or microtransactions or whatever, so that you can keep giving them money. But yeah, the amount of people already has just fallen off dramatically from New World when we take a look at Steam. Because yeah, what's the point, right? It's a dead game, just like Destiny 2. The MMO too that was being worked on for Lord of the Rings, that's also been canceled. It's also been taken down. Also too, there was Twitch layoffs. Not every one is actually talking about these types of layoffs because again, we don't know very much. But what we do know is that they did have some. So yeah, gaming division and Twitch, as well as the publishing side of stuff. So again, we don't know necessarily how many, but we do know they laid off some people, including Tarfu, who has worked there for 11 years. And yeah, he's basically posted that he started off in work and trust and safety, and then moved to customer experience. And he shared, I was the person who built the entire fraud program on Twitch. It's one of the reasons I never told people what I did for work. I was the one keeping bad actors off of Twitch who steal and abuse revenue on the platform. I guess I did my job too well since they let me go. But I have some great stories to tell, basically. Yeah, so that sucks. And again, we don't know how many are actually laid off at Twitch, but I imagine too with the whole TwitchCon thing with Emiru, that's going to be, yeah, I imagine there's quite a few. And again, Twitch has been a platform that's never made money. So Amazon isn't necessarily going to keep them around forever. Found out too that also Rockstar fired a few devs for gross misconduct. Now this one's a little up in the air, but we're looking at roughly 30 to 40 employees across its UK and Canadian studios. So it wasn't a ton. But ultimately, the game is still planned for a release in May 26 of 26. But yeah, they were laid off. They were also working toward actually being unionized. They actually had a private union chat in Discord, and they've been talking about some stuff about unionizing, I guess, next year or something like that. And, well, now they're all fired. So it kind of looks like that the company maybe got wind of that and really didn't want to deal with it. Maybe there was a mole in there. But they say, too, it was for gross misconduct, which who knows what that could have been. Okay, there could have been some NDA stuff that they were talking about. There could have been some other things. Who knows, really? But usually if there's, misconduct of an individual, they're usually the ones that are removed or fired or under investigation. Well, none of that happened, so it's got to be something else. But anyway, they're gone. It really doesn't matter what happened. They're gone. They're removed from the project. And since GTA is still planning to be in May of 2026, and they're starting to lay off some folks that work on the project, I'm kind of wondering if we're just going to get some more layoffs when GTA actually releases. Because we're going to get the probably $70 campaign, and then when the campaign's over, why do they need those people? Because the main focus of GTA 6 is going to be the multiplayer. That's going to come later, maybe toward the end of 26 or maybe into 27, and those people are going to stay around and keep working and stuff. And then when their job is done, maybe some of them are going to be laid off too. But I guarantee you GTA 6 is going to focus on the microtransactions, focus on the gambling mechanics, keep the casino in there, be able to host servers for role plays and stuff, because that's what's kept GTA 5 going for so long. And so, yeah, they're going to continue to do the same thing. But yeah, if you worked on the story and the story's over and you're basically done, well, you're not needed anymore. What we have heard is that a lot of the employees that were fired from these in the UK and Canada was that they were creative employees. So again, if the work's already done, why do you need them? You don't. Also, too, massive layoffs are expected still again in the first quarter of 2026, though this is from a leaker. Apparently, he's a really good leaker, I guess. But we'll have to actually see if this comes to fruition. But yeah, sneakers. So, but again, we don't know exactly how many Xbox has already had a lot of layoffs. Just Microsoft in general, really. And again, they have focused on AI as well. 20% of the code, Satya Nadella said, is written by AI, not engineers, at Microsoft, which is pretty freaking insane. And the big focus of Copilot and Azure and 365 and all of this other stuff, yeah, they're going to keep pushing on that. You know that they had uh, I was just listening to Microsoft's earnings call. They had an 80% increase in their data center capacity, and it still wasn't enough. That blows my mind. The demand that companies are having for their services is crazy. And as much as we hate layoffs, as much as we hate that kind of stuff, you still got to be able to make money. And if ultimately companies can do it with less people, that's what they're going to do. Again, it's a contractual agreement. So if I was working anywhere right now, I wouldn't complain, especially if you do your job through a screen, any screen period at all. If you do your job through a screen, if you're a white collar worker, I would keep my freaking head down. Because again, we've already had multiple examples of people be like, yeah, we striked, yeah, we're unionized, and then a whole bunch of people get fired. UPS just had a whole bunch of workers laid off. So is Teamsters, which is semi-truck hauling. I mean, they got their packages, but again, not everybody, again, gets to stay there. It doesn't work out that way. The company ultimately has to make money, and not all of them are. And margins are being squeezed. If you think inflation just affects you, no, it affects these companies too. Now, the margins from Microsoft, right, are huge. Like 35%, 34% for this last quarter was freaking insane. And Xbox lost a little bit of money. They lost $113 million for the quarter. But, they still made basically the same amount. They still made almost $6 billion. And the majority of that is through Game Pass, which is, yeah, pretty freaking nuts. Also, I saw, too, that Crafton is undergoing a complete reorganization. We've seen that a lot, as it positions to be a first AI company, or AI first company, excuse me. So yeah, the publisher said it would prioritize AI as a central and primary means of problem solving and fostering change in individuals and organizations, increasing company-wide productivity and accelerating mid to long-term corporate value growth. They're basically going to restructure and invest $70 million in a new GPU cluster for sophisticated reasoning and iterative planning. And then they're going to invest roughly $21 million every single year to be able to retrain their workforce with AI tools. So again, if you can do more work with less people, that's what the focus is going to be. And it will continue to be that way. Okay, this is not going in reverse. It doesn't matter if you're a part of a union. What matters is what type of industry you're in. And this is not just for gaming. This is me talking to you as an individual. If you're working in an industry that can be AI'd, I would do everything you can now to learn how to use these AI tools. Embrace them to death, because if you're the least resistive at the company, you're going to be probably one of the last ones to be let go. You're going to improve your chances, right? And during that time, start thinking about what your plan B is. What the plan is if you get laid off, because that is happening. We are continuing to have layoffs, and we have, through jobs reports and JOLTS in the United States, we're learning that some months we're not actually having job growth. We're actually having negative job growth, which means jobs aren't being created, they're being destroyed. And this is part of the reason. More work can be done without you. And that's great. Now, if you're a blue-collar worker, okay, if you work in a mill, if you work with steel, but even like driving semi-trucks, some companies have been working on semi-truck drivers, basically replacing them with AI. The whole cab is full of software and hardware server stuff. Man, you should see one of them. It's kind of insane. And yeah, they just drive. These AI trucks, they just drive. It's pretty incredible. Also, Amazon is working too with just dumb robots as forklifts moving stuff. And the assembly lines and loading it into trucks and everything. And basically there's one person at the top, a human, that oversees the whole thing. And when something breaks, they call the people out to come fix the machines. So if you have kids, I would be pushing them toward blue-collar work. And they better know how to fix robotics. because that is coming. Also, too, let's just go over all of the layoffs that we've been having. There's actually quite a few. A lot of these are small, right? But we're looking just in October. Funcom, Outrider, Starbreeze, FuzzyBot, Heart Machine got it twice. And that's with two different games. One game was for console, didn't do well, and one was for indie. And yeah, this, we don't know about this one, but that was roughly 5. But yeah, either way, it sucks. This affects people's lives. Just because you don't have a family or kids or whatever, I think it's more heartbreaking when you do, because there's definitely more stress there. I would know. But either way, it still sucks. And the job market right now just feels like it's getting harder and harder to actually find a job. We also had Ruvio Games, Outer Loop, Boss Fight, Amazon Publishing, or Studios, excuse me, there should be publishing in there too, and then Heart Machine. And then, yeah, some of the other ones that we've just gone over, they're not in this list yet. But yeah, this is a mess, folks. And again, AI is just going to continue to push forward. So yeah, think about your future. Think about what you do. But I gotta say too, and this isn't to be mean, but a lot of 20 and 30-year-olds think that they actually have job skills. But if you can be replaced, it's not a skill. Okay, a real skill is something where you can't be replaced. Now, you might be laid off because there's not enough work. Okay, that's going around too. Whether you're like a civil engineer or you had the part of the government shutdown right now, issues with tariffs. I mean, I know we've had to change some stuff with tariffs at work, but like we're still trying to hire people because we just don't have enough. But yeah, no, it's just kind of insane. Like, just be aware, okay? Have a plan, and don't just try to be happy and stuff your head in the sand. Don't do that. Really think about a plan, because stuffing your head in the sand and just smiling through it doesn't do anything for you. It just makes the reality harder when it smacks you in the face. So it's easier to plan while things are good now, because they can always be worse tomorrow. And we will continue to see layoffs, of course, not just in the gaming industry. I still think through 2026, maybe even 2027 now. But yeah, we're going to continue to see layoffs everywhere else, because the data, at least in the United States, and Germany, and the UK, and China, and Japan, it's not good. It doesn't matter where you look in the world, it's not good. So with that, folks, thanks for tuning in. You can always follow me over at Gaming Garbage 22. We have various content, me, myself, and I, every single week. And if something's not for you, don't sweat it, and just move right on to the next thing. Also, there's playlists to help differentiate all of the videos to help you get around, so be sure to use those on the channel. Also, you can follow me over at Twitch too if you'd like, at Don't Tread on Thee. And yeah, when I'm playing video games, go ahead and chat with me in there. But if you're silent, I'll be silent too. All right, I can see you guys as a number, but that's it. You're just a number to me if you're not talking. But yeah, if you'd like some personal interaction, go ahead and go for it. I'll chat with you guys. And with that, folks, I'll see you guys on the next one.